The debacle of the U.S. defeat and chaotic retreat in Afghanistan is a political disaster for Joe Biden, whose failure to orchestrate an urgent and orderly exit will further rock a presidency plagued by crises and stain his legacy. But a stunning Taliban blitzkrieg followed more than 20 years of U.S. and allied policy failures, misunderstandings of Afghan politics and culture, public war fatigue, and the culpability and corruption of the failed state's leaders. And while Biden's political and geopolitical rivals rushed to exploit his mistakes, the true magnitude of the crisis can only be judged in the human tragedy of a people again subject to Taliban persecution, and a failure to fulfill the now apparently near impossible tasks of evacuating all the Afghan translators, workers and fixers on whom the U.S. relied and who now face Taliban retribution would besmirch America's conscience and global reputation. It is a stain on our nation's integrity and honor that even just a few months ago, we were not meeting our obligation to the men and women, our Afghan allies who served alongside us. Jake Wood, a former U.S. Marine and Afghan war veteran, told CNN's Pamela Brown on Sunday. We owe them the special immigrant visas. We owe them safety, every bit as much as we owe safety to our embassy workers in Kabul. The U.S. launched the Afghan war 20 years ago in a mood of vengeance, resolve and unity, after al-Qaeda's attacks on New York and Washington shattered the post-Cold War myth of American hyperpower. It is ending it in a rush race to get out, humbled by a primitive militia that is nevertheless ready to die for jihad on its home soil and is reimposing its feudal writ on a war-ravaged nation that bleeds foreign invaders dry. That a war that killed or maimed thousands of Americans, many more Afghan civilians, and cost $1 trillion, ended so abruptly with such an ignominious eclipse was shocking. But it perhaps should not have been. Ironically, Biden's mismanagement of the withdrawal from Afghanistan underscored his core point, that U.S. visions of forging a functioning nation were illusory and that many more years of U.S. involvement would not make any difference. The evaporating Afghan forces and police that the U.S. spent billions building up to fight the Taliban mystified many Washington officials. This encapsulated how top military brass and diplomats were misled by their own preconceptions and the investment of years of U.S. blood and treasure, troops surges, drawdowns, diplomatic offensives, and arbitrary timelines to leave.